How are you all doing today? Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, you guys are welcome to another episode of the Otumba Adams Show. This is the 93rd episode, and you all are welcome, specially. All right, so on today's episode, we'll be looking at how to start a service arbitrage business. How to start a service arbitrage business. All right, but before we dive right in, my name remains Adam Solofimilajide, and I am your host, as you know. And for those of you that will probably be coming here for the very first time, this show is all about how to become a better entrepreneur, a business person, and a better freelancer. All right. So on today's episode, we'll be looking at a topic that resonates more with freelancers, especially if you have being a freelancer on sites like Fiverr, Upwork, and the likes. But before we dive right into what we have for today, how have you been? How's life generally? All right, you know how we always do it. If this is your first time of being on the show or you would like to introduce yourself, please put your name and your location in the comment section so that I'll welcome you especially. All right, I can see someone joining in right now. So let me know that like you're there. Just put your name, your location, and be a part of the show. All right, so we'll be looking at what's the word again? How to start a service arbitrage business. Now, for some of you guys, you may not really understand what arbitrage means, but in simple terms, it basically means that you buy something at a low price and then you sell it at a higher price, and at the end of the day, the profit in between becomes yours. All right. But this time around, we'll be looking at it from the angle of freelancing, and also you could also apply it to different businesses. But in this scenario for today, we'll be looking at how you can do that for your freelancing business. All right. So let's dive right into what we have for today. A lot of us, or for those of us that have been in the freelancing world, we know that like majority of these freelancing websites are platforms whereby people come around to use um, other people's services, right? Digital services, and then you get paid. But then there are times that those same services that like you actually render are at a cheaper price, all right? At a cheaper price. And if there's a way that you can actually now get people to, or get the premium clients that can actually pay for what you're worth, and then find somebody else that can help you out to get the service done, and then you make profit of it. That basically is service arbitrage. But then I would be taking everything one after the other, how to go about it. Now, the first thing you need to know is this, that the things you need to start, the things you need to have on ground for you to be able to start a service arbitrage. The first part is a marketable niche. You need a marketable niche, because if that particular thing you're trying to go into, that service trying to go into, is not marketable, it's not something that like people actually need, then at the end of the day, you will not make profit off it. It has to be something that like people are always looking for. All right, that's the first part. The second part is a profile in a freelancing website. All right, you need a profile in a freelancing website. I know I'm supposed to be putting this on the screen, but I had little time to actually prepare. But just know that like you need to have a profile on a freelancing website, be it Facebook, sorry, I said Facebook, Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer. Now it has to be a client account. I'm going to advise that like you should open a client account. All right, and with that, we will move on to the next thing, which is the people that would help you to deliver the job, the people that like you would outsource the job to, the people that I call who? The service providers. All right. You need the service provider, you need them handy. Okay. That's another thing that you need. Then the next one is you need to have time management skills. It is very, very important. You need to have time management skills, because you would be the one to manage the people that will be working under you, the people that you're outsourcing the job to, and also the people that gave you the job, right? You need to like give them feedback. You need to like make them feel that, hey, their job is about would soon be ready and they have nothing to worry about. Okay, so you have to learn to manage those two people and then manage the time appropriately. All right, so that's the next thing. Then you need a website. You need a website because if you're going to do an arbitrage, right? You need a website where your portfolio is. Now, this is what I'm going to say about this part. If you do not have a portfolio, what you could do is those people that you intend outsourcing the jobs to, you can tell them that, like, hey, I am a big agency. I am trying to get more clients for you. Can you give me samples of your work? All right. Now, if those people cooperate with you, definitely some people would not say yes to your offer. But for those of them that would actually say yes to your offer, what you should do is their samples, right? Their portfolio, or the samples of their work, put it on their website. Make sure that like you have that permission to use it. All right. I've had cases whereby someone comes to me and says that, like, hey, can I have a sample of your work because I'm trying to get a job from another client, and when the job comes, definitely I'm going to outsource it to you. So look for people that can actually get you or give you their portfolio, right, or samples of their work, and from there you place it on your website. Make sure that like your website is clean and well designed. It's very, very important. Make sure your website is clean and well designed. All right, now another thing that like you would need is paid advertisement. All right, you need, because at some point you need to let the word out that like this is what you are into. All right, so you need to create a paid advertisement for the business. Okay, so now once you have all these things set up, what then do you need to do? The number one thing that you need to do is research market demand and pick your niche. Meaning that like if it's something that like, let's say you are new to this arbitrage thing, right? The first thing you need to do is try and do a research on a niche that you feel that is very, very profitable. One of the ways that you can actually find out is by going to these freelancing platforms, especially on Fiverr, and then search through different niches that you feel that like you might be interested in, and then see the ones that people patronize more. Now, from there, you would have a better idea what actually sells and what you can go into. All right. Do your research based on what you've seen online and the niches that like people actually patronize the most. And then it would also be better if you have an idea of that particular niche that you're trying to go into. For instance, say I'm trying to create a service arbitrage in animation, right? Now, I, for one, have been creating explainer videos for the past 4 years. So I know how the whole business works. I know how to go about the whole process, right? So it's going to be easier for me if I'm going to say that, like, okay, I want to start a service arbitrage in animation designs, right? I know how it works, so it's going to be very, very easier for me. But if you are new to it, make sure you do as much research as possible. Ask those vendors questions, right? And they'll like ask them, okay, how do we go about this thing? How long does it take to deliver? How many revisions can you offer? And all those kind of questions that like you need to do. It is part of your market research to know which one exactly you will be comfortable in doing. All right. So that's I said number one is do your research. Number two is find your clients. All right. Finding your clients is very, very important. And how do you find your clients? You can either find your clients by also having a profile on any of these freelancing websites, right? Fiverr, Upwork, freelancer.com, right? If you're able to snatch high-paying clients, right? That's one way. Another way is by cold emailing. We've actually discussed cold emailing on this show before, so you could probably like just go through the previous videos we're actually watching on what's the word now, on YouTube. Just scroll down or search within the channel, and then you'll be able to see the video on cold emailing and how to go about that. Cold email the people that you feel would be able to like use your services. Another way is by getting referrals, especially if you are already in the business before now. Tell people that like have actually used your service at some point, and then tell them that like, hey, how would you like to tell other people about the business that I do? And I would really much appreciate it. There's no crime in asking, and you'll be surprised that like people would definitely patronize you that way. You'll be able to get clients that way. Okay, so you find your clients, and once you've been able to find your clients, what do you do next? You close the deal. Now, in trying to close the deal, you have to understand the fact that like the amount you're going to charge the client has to be something that like would pay both yourself and the person that you're outsourcing the job to. All right. It has to pay both yourself and the person you're outsourcing the job to, because you would not want to collect a job whereby when you have to like outsource it, you then realize that, hey, this thing, I shot myself in the leg, right? I shortchanged myself. I shouldn't have charged this amount. So which takes us back to what I said earlier in trying to like get the what's the word, the service provider that would work for you. Ask all the necessary questions. How much do you charge? For some of them, it is clearly written on their profiles on the freelancing websites where they work. All right, so you have an idea how much they charge, and then when you're trying to like get these premium clients, you up your game, or you say that like, okay, I am charging much more, such that when that service provider that you're outsourcing the job to does the job and then delivers the job to you, and then you are paid for the job, you know that like you are not running at a loss. All right. So you have to close a deal that pays both yourself and the service provider. That's the person you are outsourcing the job to. And then the next part is once you've what's the word now? Once you've closed the deal, okay, you make an offer to your service provider that you already know how much that they are charging, right? You've already gone through their profile on their freelancing websites. You, if possible, you can even like make a bargain with them that like, hey, okay, I know that like you actually charge this price, but can I get a particular discount if I bring a certain number of clients to you? Like after I get a certain number of clients for you, would you be willing to give me a discount for the jobs I bring your way? And if you are able to strike a deal with that kind of person, then it's going to be very, very easy for you, because that way both of you are smiling to the bank. All right, you make a deal with the person that is going to do the job, and make sure, always make sure that like you check their portfolio also, so that you would not give a job to someone that cannot handle something properly. If they don't have a great rating, please do not use their services. But if you see that like that person that you want to outsource the job to has a great rating, then you can as well use the service of that person. All right, so that's that. And then once the job has started, what you need to do next is to inspect the workflow. All right, you need to like have a timeline. It's like you handling a project. Okay, you know that like, okay, from this point to this point you are going to have this deliverable, from this point to another point you're going to have another deliverable till the end of the service itself. And then you would have communicated that same thing to the person, that the client that gave you the job. All right, everybody needs to know what is going, or what needs to be delivered per time, and make sure that like your service providers deliver what needs to be delivered, and then your clients do not start asking for something that was not in the original contract. So at that point in time, you are acting as the mediator between the client and the service provider. You are basically a project manager at that point in time. Okay, so once that is out of the way, once you inspect the work, and then that is done, then you deliver the job, and what you get paid. You deliver the job and then you get paid. And as you're getting paid, you also pay your you pay the person that is going to do the job for you. It is very, very important. All right, you deliver the job, you get paid, then you pay the person, or probably balance the person that like is meant to do the job for you. Or you could actually pay outrightly the person, especially if you're using these platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, that you know that, okay, this person cannot run away with my money, and I am sure that like they would deliver the job. All right, so you can pay up front using your money, and then once they deliver, and the client that's meant to balance you up will then balance you up. All right, so that's the basic way to go about service arbitrage. It's very, very simple. It's very, very easy. But one of the things I'm going to say as a warning is this: make sure that you do not change your service providers. All right, do that due diligence in getting the right service provider that will be working with you. See that person as your staff, and treat the person well, because if you need to start changing what's the word now, service providers here and there, at a point the services that you deliver would not be consistent, and your clients would actually notice it. Because imagine if client A comes and then you use, let's say, service provider A, and then client A introduces client B to you, and then you went to look for service provider B because you got greedy and then you don't want to pay service provider A the amount that is due to the person, and then you get a new person to do the job. And if that new person does not do the job the way it ought to be done, it would affect your business on the long run. Because once people know that like there's inconsistency in your delivery, in the quality of your job, then they would not patronize you again. You need to maintain that consistency in delivering quality service. It is very, very important if you want to make as much money on this platform. Then again, if you feel that like, okay, it is not going to be a freelancing thing that you want to do, there are tons of businesses that you can actually use this same method that I have taught today and apply it to those same things, and you would be able to do what? You'll be able to like make an income of service arbitrage. All right. So, guys, we've come to the end of today's episode. I hope you guys have been able to learn something tangible today. All right. If you're watching us from Facebook or YouTube, please do so well to like this video and also subscribe, and also share with your friends and loved ones. My name remains Adam Solofimilajide, and it's been an honor and a privilege to be here with you. We are almost at our 100th episode, and we have 7 more episodes to go. All right, guys, have a lovely evening and be the best version. Be the best version God has created you to be, okay? Signing out, guys. Enjoy.